How you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. A lot better than I expected, to be honest. Yeah.
You got a big smile.
Yeah. Not the way I walked in, that's for sure.
How is it that you walked in?
For someone who's very open, I was very guarded. I feel like I wasn't being myself the first day until I really opened up because everyone was so friendly. Everyone was really raw, which allowed me to be raw.
Yeah.
And obviously that's thanks to you and Rajani for being so open and honest with us first, which then allowed my walls to come down. So.
Yeah. What's hiding behind those walls when the walls come down?
I feel like there's a big voice that's hiding.
A big voice?
Yeah, like I just feel like I've got so much in me that I just want to get out now. And I feel more comfortable doing that.
What was it previously, that wall, when the wall's been up, has that stopped you from pursuing what it is that you wanted?
I carry a lot of trauma, generational trauma. So yeah, I feel like I've always had to be the grounded one for everyone in my life. And because I've had to carry everyone's burden, my own burden has just, it's the last priority. So yeah.
How did that make you feel, putting you last?
It was normal. Like I felt like putting myself first, like, well, I don't know, I got other people to worry about.
Okay, so how long do you reckon you've been putting yourself as a lower priority?
My whole life. Yeah, my whole life.
And what has that led you to feel eventually?
Like I'm not important, that my opinions don't matter. I'm always the one having to, like I feel like I'm always uplifting everyone around me, not letting them feel bad, but when it comes to me, like I'm the most harshest on myself for everything.
You're speaking to one guy who has one monstrous harsh inner critic. I treat other people way more compassionately than I've historically treated myself. And so these practices entered my life when I was at a point that I was pretty low. I was really low, but I was also ready to step into me. Do you feel that these, what was your journey in first connecting to what we're doing here?
I went through a lot of trauma about 1.5 years ago, and from then I was like, nah, I'm gonna put myself first. I'm actually gonna look after myself, look after my inner me. I've really struggled to trust myself, and I guess I tapped into my spirituality. Growing up atheist, that wasn't very spoken about ever. Religion is one thing, like I'm not into religion, but my inner soul, I feel I've always been connected with because I've had a very good intuition my whole life. And trust that intuition, but every time it's been freaking right. And now I'm like, no, I'm gonna actually start listening to it because it's literally been telling me everything that's led me to this point. I could have got there a lot sooner if I had just listened to it the first time. So I've now learned to just listen to it the first time. So probably the last 1.5 years, I've looked into this stuff, and at the start of the year when I announced that I was going to move states and start a new life, I was like, what better way to do that is with a soul retreat, which I had no idea what I had in store for me. I didn't know what to expect. I had no expectations coming here. And I think that was the best way, to be honest.
So it was your intuition that called you into the soul retreat?
I was like, I had my skeptical, what am I getting myself into? I don't know. How am I going to come out of it? I was a bit worried. I was a bit anxious. But I was also really excited. I was like, this might be my calling. I don't know.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you can tell, I had a smile on my face. It's above everything I expected.
Yeah. Oh, great. I'm so happy to hear that. So you said you're feeling a bit nervous, but you showed up anyway, and you were a bit guarded for the first day.
Yeah.
Is that a bit of a pattern that you go to a new place and the wall comes up, a bit of protection?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I'm a guard dog all the time, and then once I'm like, if I put my foot in the water, I'm like, am I going to be accepted here? Yes, okay, I can be myself. Yeah. Or I don't really fit in here, I'm just going to step back.
It's so funny. I mean, yesterday we were having a conversation and you said you saw a lot of yourself in me, and the way that you just described that, I'm like, oh God, that's me.
Yeah.
Here I was, I got this like kind of quite eccentric personality even when I was studying architecture, and I'd go off with the army, and then I'm like very reserved, and I'd put the feelers out, and then I would open a bit, and then something would happen and I'd feel the sense of external judgment.
Yeah, same. Like,
and I would shut down.
Yeah, like I feel that because for someone who I guess I fake it till I make it all the time. Like I live by that. I'm such a confident person.
Yeah.
But like I'm not actually confident.
Yeah.
It's just a facade. Like everyone knows me as a confident person, but really I'm just like, I'm gonna hold off until I'm comfortable, and then I'll be myself.
Behind the facade, what's actually going on behind the facade? Who's in there?
Someone full of love that wants to be shared. I want to be loved the way I should be loving myself.
Yeah. How have you historically loved yourself? Has there been any?
Probably not.
Yeah. What's the path forward for you now?
To do that. To give myself what I'm looking for from someone else.
Because you're worthy. You're worthy to have that. And if you don't give it to yourself, guess what?
No one else is going to give it to me.
Yeah. But if you give it to yourself, who are you going to attract into your life?
Someone who's going to love you that way.
And how are they going to relate to themselves? They're going to love themselves too. They're not going to be a burden on you. This is meeting in love.
Yeah.
Instead of yearning and trying to pull it from the other person, you meet in that state. Yeah. So you're full of love. You build that inside of yourself. Where is it that you want that to take you, that loving relationship to yourself?
I want to be that goddess that we spoke about yesterday. Like I want to be that strong, fierce woman without the insecurities that I feel that I have. Like I just want to be confident in myself and know that I already have everything within me. And I don't need to keep looking.
The beautiful thing about the goddess is that you're already that. She's already home. It's only mental fluff that stands in the way. And so when you call upon her, Devi, Shakti, the goddess, they're all the different forms. It's the same goddess, but there's just different ways of expressing that goddess. And when you start praying and calling to that goddess, like, there's a lot of this new agey, hokey, pretend to be the goddess stuff. My goddess is in the living room speaking to people with a baby sucking off her boob while she's singing mantra and chopping onions, and this is the goddess. It doesn't have to be the proud, outspoken, feminine, feminist. It can be. It's a state within. And I feel that she's coming alive, and it's just going to go from strength to strength for you. And what enabled you to lower the guard out here? Drop those walls and connect with people.
I guess realizing that stuff that I went through is nothing compared to what some other people have been through. So it definitely humbled me a little bit. But that also allowed me to open up because they were so open. Just seeing that everyone has a story is just beautiful.
How did you find that connection with the other people on the retreat?
Oh, it was just so natural, and it just, like you said, I feel like all our souls were brought together this month for a reason. Like we were all very similar.
Yeah, there was a lot, and you can feel the karma, you feel the richness that everyone's learning from each other. Part of the teaching is if we share that practice, we create a collective practice, and then we get out of the way. We let those conversations happen. Sometimes we let the frustrations happen between participants, but we're there to guide and support as well as teach. So the guards got a bit lowered. We started sharing some more of the knowledge around the elements. How did you find that sort of practical knowledge for your own understanding of what you've been through? Was it useful?
Oh, I think that was probably one of my highlights because I'm such a intellectual mind. I love knowing the foundations first before then jumping to whatever we're doing. So it was really good to have that broken down, understand the basis of what we're doing, because it made everything make so much more sense. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. So elements, some of the practical knowledge helped you. What else was a highlight for you?
The combination of the Hatha Yoga with the meditation straight after, like warming the body, really feeling each part of each movement, where it connects to. I guess I've never thought of yoga that way, because I'm so exposed to the westernized yoga that's just, it's just exercise, it's to feel good. But this is actually more on a soulful level, like I'm actually seeing what it's doing versus just the way it's making me feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did that lead into the seats for meditation?
Good, it really prepares your mind.
How did you find the Himalayan meditation? Have you done any meditation before?
No, I mean, I've only ever done, guided meditations, which half the time I fall asleep because I'm lying down. Never have I done them sitting upright, and yeah, it's just very different to what I'm used to for someone who's got such a crazy mind, always running a million miles per hour with like a million things in there. It's just good to just switch off.
And let it settle.
Yeah. Like, I mean, still things go in there, but like, I've never had such a quiet mind before, ever.
And is the smile related to the quietness of your mind?
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
This is where they say that the natural state is one of peace. We're just returning you back home to where you were. It's like you've just driven all this way to realise, like, your natural condition is one of equanimity. We're here to give you that reminder. Did you have any kind of strange or powerful experiences come through in any of the meditations? Any realizations?
Well, the realization, I guess, before coming here, I wasn't sure if I'd ever have children. Obviously, given the world the way it is, I mean, I wanted them, but then I started not wanting them because of the way the world is. And coming here has given me the clarity that I definitely want children. Connecting with the grandmother tree and the wisdom that, thrives off her made me realise that I really do want to have children. And I think seeing your baby every day, I was just drawn to him. Yeah,
there's no greater gift that you can give the world. It's like, if the world is a difficult place, it's your responsibility. Have some really wise babies. Which means that we've got to become wise ourselves first and then bring them into the world and guide them so that they can help have a positive impact, because no one person is going to change the world. Jesus did a good job, right? But the church was built upon millions and millions of people over thousands and thousands of years. And so who's to say that the offspring that we bring into the world aren't going to be the ones that drive it towards collective harmony instead of, more of a kind of insanity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's a massive realization, and like, to be honest, I'm super humble. This is actually probably one of the most powerful things, like, to feel that we helped you come to that realization. I not once would ever sit down and tell someone you should or you shouldn't have a kid, but to give you the quietness and the respect of your own being so that you could realize that, man, it humbles me to be of service.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You mentioned that there's a chapter maybe opening where you're going to be supporting other people in teaching. How do you think what you've learned on the retreat and the realizations and the shifts that have happened are going to support you on that journey?
As I said before, I feel like I've got this big voice that I'm suppressing. I've got so much knowledge and I've got so much within me that I want to share amongst. I love being influential in a good way. I love influencing other people, and being able to teach stuff and people get knowledge from me is just an absolute dream of mine. I've never wanted to be a teacher as such. That's never crossed my mind, but just to be able to teach something that I'm passionate about yeah, this weekend has solidified that for me. I really do want to do that.
Do you feel confident that you can do that now?
Yeah, I do.
Is your soul ever going to let you off the hook if you don't? Watch out. If you stop, it'll be like, the soul will just keep coming behind you. Get off the cliff, young girl.
Yeah. No, I have the knowledge. I have the confidence to do it. I know I'll do it.
Yeah, awesome. I'm super proud of you for that realization, because it does take courage to go beyond that stagnation of do I even want to admit it to myself? And then when you do make the courage, watch out, it'll start coming, and then it's a beautiful way to live. You know, having that gift to be able to share is just, well, I mean, you know, it's the...
You guys have it firsthand.
Yeah, and it's the womanly part. It's like there's something about it that it's just like, you know, sharing like Swami G actually talks about it. It's like, it's a bit of a strange analogy, but he's like, it's like the mother's breast when they're feeding the baby. They get so full of milk that it's actually painful for the mother. And they're like, oh, my boobs are hard. And then when the baby sucks and takes the milk, it's like, oh, thank God.
The relief.
There's a sense of relief. And he says it's the same with this, your experience in life.
Yeah.
You know, you cultivate all this experience. You know that there's a new way of doing it.
Share it. Like,
It's hard. Feels good. Awesome. How do you feel set up, you know, to go forward for the next little chapter, like consolidating the practices? Like, have we given you a good enough G up to, like, do you feel like, yep, I'm going to do it, or what's
no, absolutely. Like, I feel like sometimes I can say I'll do something and then I'll do it for a few days and I'll get lazy or whatever. But like, I feel like the way you guys have set this up, it's given me so much motivation. If I've felt this way after only 5 days, how am I going to feel after 45?
Yeah.
And you've provided us with so many resources and stuff that I know that I'll stay on track.
Yeah.
I was going to pull us in line.
Yeah,
So,
I'll call you out later. Hey, get back on the cushion. You were flying by the seat of your pants and following your intuition here. So that's, you know, the best way to go by far. But we actually unfortunately encounter a lot of people who see it and go, yeah, I really want to do that. And then they talk themselves out of it. Okay, you do that. So current Donna, if that was old Donna talking herself out of it, what would you tell her? Like, what advice would you give her about joining us out here?
Oh, I just wish I did it sooner. Like, I just wish I listened to my intuition sooner and the first time. Because whatever reason I find out later, like, I just know that I'm going to look back and be like, I should have known it then. Well, I did know it then. I just chose not to listen to it. So I just need to do it the first time and listen to my gut.
Yeah. So you tell yourself to follow your gut.
Yeah.
Take the plunge. And if it's shit, so be it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you certainly don't look like someone who, you know, has been through something that, you know, I feel humbled to have been able to serve and bring the experience to you and guide you through that experience. You know, obviously it wasn't possible for me without Swamiji, without Rajni in my life, without Sherelle, without Leanne, without our community, without people who helped me, without thousands of years of yogic tradition. So I think that that's really what maybe is our point of difference compared to a lot of the other stuff out there. It's like, we're happy to talk about the tree that holds us up. You know, a lot of the kind of attention-seeking people out there, it's like, where did you even get this stuff? Or like, what do you just like made it up and pretend you? Yeah, so you know, I'm deeply humbled to continue a tradition, and wish you nothing but the absolute best for your journey ahead.
I'm very humbled to be here and to have met you. On Rajni.
Oh, it's our joy and our pleasure. You're gonna be real.
Yeah, definitely. I've nothing to hide behind anymore.
You're going to rock yourself fully. The world needs you.
Yeah.
Get out there and share that love.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you so much for the